Welcome back to lesson 4 of the Before You Build It mini course. In the last lesson, we talked about feasibility. We looked at whether your project can actually work legally, physically, financially, practically, and strategically. Now, in this lesson, we're going to talk about one of the most important and emotional parts of the entire project, the budget. And I want to start with a simple statement. Hope is not a construction budget. Now, I know that sounds direct, but this is where a lot of property owners get into trouble. They have a number in their mind. Maybe that number came from a friend or something they saw online. Maybe it came from a quick contractor conversation, from what they want to spend, or maybe it came from what they hope the project will cost. But a number in your head is not the same thing as a real budget. And if you treat a hopeful number like a real budget, the project can become stressful very quickly. So in this lesson, I want to help you understand what a real construction budget should include and why the budget needs to be built before construction begins. Almost every owner starts with a number. They say things like, I want to keep this under $200,000. I heard ADUs cost around $250,000. My neighbor remodeled for $150,000. We're hoping to do this for $100,000. We don't want to spend more than $500,000. There is nothing wrong with having a target. You should have a financial comfort zone, and you should know what you want to spend. But the problem happens when that number becomes emotionally fixed before the project has fully been understood. Because early numbers are often incomplete. They may not include the full scope, soft costs, permits. They may not include design and engineering, utility upgrades, nor temporary housing. They may not include contingency. So the owner believes they have a budget, but really they only have a number, and those are not the same thing. A rough estimate can be useful. It can help you understand whether a project is generally in range, or help you decide whether to keep exploring. It can help you have early conversations, but a rough estimate is not the same as a real budget. A rough estimate usually says, based on limited information, this project may cost somewhere around this amount. A real budget says, based on the project scope, property conditions, design assumptions, finish level, risks, soft costs, and known requirements, this is the likely total project investment. That is a very different level of clarity. So if someone gives you a rough number early, don't treat it like a final answer. Treat it like a starting point. The budget needs to become more accurate as the project becomes more defined. This is one of the biggest budgeting mistakes owners make. They think the contractor's price is the project budget. But many times, the contractor's price is only one part of the total project cost. Depending on the project, you may also need to budget for, and get ready for it, architecture, engineering, design, permits, plan check fees, utility fees, special inspections, surveying, soil reports, energy calculations, legal review, owner's representation or project management, financing costs, insurance changes, temporary housing, storage, furniture, appliances, landscaping, owner purchase fixtures, and contingency. So if a contractor says the project is $300,000, your actual total project investment may be higher than that, may be significantly higher. That is why I want owners to think in terms of total project cost, not just construction costs, because when owners ignore the additional costs, they feel blindsided later. And it is not always because someone did something wrong. Sometimes it's simply because the owner was looking at an incomplete budget. A good budget separates hard costs and soft costs. Hard costs are the physical construction costs. These are the things being built or installed. Examples include demolition, framing, concrete, roofing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, drywall, cabinets, countertops, flooring, tile, paint, fixtures, appliances, landscaping. Those are hard costs. Soft costs are the costs connected to planning, design, approval, financing, management, and documentation. Examples include architectural design, engineering, permit fees, plan check fees, surveying, consultants, legal review, financing fees, project management, owner's representation, special inspections, insurance. A lot of owners remember the hard costs, but they forget the soft costs. And soft costs can be significant, especially on ADUs, additions, custom homes, commercial projects, and larger remodels. So if your budget only includes hard construction pricing, it may not be complete just yet. Another area owners overlook is owner purchased items. Sometimes owners decide to buy certain materials directly. Things like appliances, lighting, plumbing fixtures, tile, flooring, hardware, cabinets, smart home equipment, furniture, window coverings, and there may be good reasons for that. Maybe you want more control over your selections, or you have a preferred supplier. Maybe you want to use points for financing. Maybe the contractor excludes those items. But even if you buy something directly, it still counts toward the total project cost. It also affects schedule and coordination. If the owner purchased item is late, wrong, damaged, or incompatible, it can delay construction or create extra costs. So owner purchased items need to be included in the budget and tracked like any other project cost. Now let's talk about allowances. An allowance is a placeholder amount for something that has not been fully selected or defined yet. For example, a contractor may include a $10,000 cabinet allowance, a $5,000 appliance allowance, a $3,000 tile allowance, a $2,500 lighting allowance. That may sound fine at first, but the real question is, are those allowances realistic for what you actually want? Because if the allowance is too low, the budget may look better than it really is. Let's say your contractor includes a $10,000 cabinet allowance, but the cabinets you actually want are closer to $22,000. That is a $12,000 difference. And if that happens across cabinets, tile, appliances, lighting, plumbing, fixtures, and flooring, the budget can shift quickly. That does not mean allowances are bad. Allowances are common, but unrealistic allowances create budget drift. So when you see allowances, do not just accept them. Ask, what does this allowance include? Does it include tax, include delivery, include installation? What quality level does it represent? What happens if we go over? What happens if we come under? Allowances need to be understood before you sign. Now let's talk about exclusions. An exclusion is something not included in the contractor's price. For example, a proposal may exclude permit fees, utility upgrades, appliances, landscaping, painting, hazardous material testing, engineering, design fees, window coverings, final cleaning, or hidden condition repairs. An exclusion is not always a red flag. Sometimes it is completely normal. But if the excluded item is still required, someone has to pay for it. And most times that someone is the owner. So when you review a bid or estimate, you need to ask, what is excluded? Is the excluded items still needed? Who is responsible for it? How much should I budget for it? Can we price it now? Should it be added to the scope? If exclusions are ignored, they become surprise costs later, and surprise costs create disruption. Every project needs a contingency. Contingency is money set aside for unknown changes and unexpected costs. And I want you to understand this clearly. Contingency is not pessimism. Contingency is protection, especially in remodels, additions, older homes, ADUs with utility questions, commercial projects, and complex projects. Because construction involves unknowns. You may open a wall and find damage. You may discover old electrical issues. The city may require changes. Material costs may shift. A design detail may need adjustment. A utility connection may cost more than expected. Without contingency, every unexpected issue feels like a crisis. With contingency, the project has room to absorb some pressure. That does not mean you want to spend it. It means you are prepared if the project needs it. A lot of owners imagine budget overruns as one big event, but many times the budget drifts through small decisions. A little more on the cabinets, a little more on tile, a lighting upgrade, a plumbing fixture upgrade, a small layout change, a change order from hidden conditions, a permit requirement, an added feature, a scheduled delay. Each item may feel manageable by itself, but together they can shift the project significantly. This is why budget tracking is important. You should know your original budget, your current approved changes, pending changes, allowance balances, contingency remaining, project final cost. The projected final cost is especially important because it tells you where the project is heading, not just where it started. A real budget does not just tell you what something cost. It helps you make better decisions. Decide whether to move forward, decide whether to adjust the scope. It helps you decide whether to phase the project or whether to upgrade or simplify. It helps you decide which contractor proposal is realistic, helps you avoid emotional spending. It helps you protect the project when pressure appears. When your budget is unclear, every decision feels emotional. When your budget is visible, decisions become more strategic. This is the goal, not perfection, visibility. The main takeaway from this lesson is this: a budget is not what you hope the project will cost. A budget is what the project is likely to require. That includes hard costs, soft costs, owner purchased items, allowances, exclusions, contingency, and any other costs required to bring the project to completion. Before you build, make sure you are not moving forward with only a hopeful number. Build the budget clearly. That financial clarity will protect your project and your peace of mind. Before moving to the next lesson, I want you to do this. Write down your current budget number, then answer these questions. Where did this number come from? Is it based on a real scope or a rough guess? Does it include hard costs, soft costs, owner purchased items? Does it include permits and fees? Does it include contingency or include exclusions that still need funding? If you cannot answer those questions clearly yet, that's okay. But that means your budget still needs more work before construction begins. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about scope, and specifically why unclear scope is one of the main reasons contractor bids are all over the place. Before you ask someone to price your project, you need to define what they are actually pricing. I'll see you in lesson 5.